Hi, my name is Tobias, and my presentation is on the long-term effects of neonatal opioid withdrawal syndrome. Neonatal opioid withdrawal syndrome is characterized by the symptoms newborns have when withdrawing from opioid exposure in utero, as described by Cleveland Clinic. The majority of the very limited research on neonatal opioid withdrawal syndrome, also known as NOWS, focuses on pharmacologic interventions for newborns actively withdrawing from the opioids. My research focuses on the long-term effects, specifically after the first year. This is important because there have been opioid crises in both the early 2000s and during the pandemic, which could have potentially affected many expecting mothers and newborns. I have a personal stake in this research as I was born with NOWS and suffer from the long-term neurological and neurodevelopmental effects of it. In regard to the neurological effects, in Chu et al., it was found that children with NOWS experience impaired tone discrimination, which is the ability to understand and interpret another person's tone when speaking with them, an essential part of verbal communication. They also had reduced ascending auditory processing, meaning that the major nerves associated with hearing are impaired, rather than the physical makeup of the outer and inner ear. Children with NOWS also had lower visual, motor, and perceptual performance, which affects things like hand-eye coordination and spatial awareness, as shown by Conrad et al. For developmental effects, according to Benninger et al., by a year old, infants with NOWS had lower cognitive, language, and motor skills. They are also more likely to be diagnosed with a developmental disorder. In the DSM-5, neurodevelopmental disorders include intellectual disability, communication disorders, autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, learning disorders, and motor disorders, which includes tic disorders such as Tourette's. In Conrad et al., children with NOWS had lower IQs, more neuropsychiatric issues, and lower academic performance. They also had more executive dysfunction, which impairs the ability to plan, organize, manage time, and self-regulate. As for affective and behavioral effects, according to Harder and Murphy, infants and toddlers with NOWS had higher negative affect, which is the general tendency to experience negative emotions. They also had lower self-regulation, more sensation-seeking behaviors, and less interest in activities, especially ones involving other people. More concerningly, toddlers with NOWS tended to have more negative mother-child interactions. My hope is to spread awareness about the long-term effects of NOWS in order to encourage more research into it and have more recognition that it is, in fact, a disorder that lasts longer than infanthood. I hope to one day see a classification in ICD and DSM similar to that of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. These are my references.